Hello, Morongo Basin, and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. After deputies investigated a report of stolen property in Joshua Tree, 3 people were arrested on suspicion of various drug and theft charges. On Sunday at around 11:20 a.m., San Bernardino County Sheriff's deputies responded to a report of a theft in the 62,200 block of Crestview Road in Joshua Tree. Deputies say the victim reported that he rented out the residence on Crestview Road and also stored some of his belongings there. The belongings had been stolen from the property. Deputies identified a suspect, Victor Finn, 51, and say they located him at a home in the 7,000 block of Palm Avenue in Yucca Valley at around 11 p.m. Deputies say they watched Finn carry the stolen property out of the home on Palm Avenue and put it into the back of a truck. Finn was taken into custody. While at the home on Palm Avenue, deputies contacted 2 other men. Eric Danielson, 40, was found to be on probation. Deputies say he was in possession of ammunition. They also arrested a 3rd man who they say was in possession of drug paraphernalia. He was cited and released at the scene. Victor Finn was arrested on suspicion of receiving known stolen property and booked into the Morongo Basin Jail. He has since been released on bail. Eric Danielson was arrested on suspicion of being a prohibited person in possession of ammunition and booked into the Morongo Basin Jail. He has since been released on bail. The 29 Palms City Council will gather this evening for an agenda primarily focused on 3 financial reports, plus discussion about a potential mural project at Freedom Plaza. Reporter Heather Clisby has more.
Tonight, the 29 Palms City Council will tackle 3 mid-year budget reports from different angles: General Fund, Capital Projects Fund and Special Revenue Funds, Project Phoenix Funds, and Enterprise Sewer Funds. Council will then discuss a potential youth-driven tile mural project within Freedom Plaza. Cost projections range from $15,000 to $25,000. Overall, the program would be subsidized with $40,000 of grants received from the California Arts Council. The council meeting takes place on Tuesday, February 24th at 6 p.m. at City Hall. It can be live streamed or viewed on demand via the city's website, 29palms.org. Reporting for Z107.7, I'm Heather Clisby.
The Yucca Valley Planning Commission will meet tonight to discuss shipping containers. Specifically, the town's development code, which requires that any shipping container on a residentially zoned property that is less than 2.5 acres must be permanently attached to a foundation and must be architecturally treated to not appear as a shipping container. The commission is expected to discuss what is acceptable for residents to meet those requirements. The Yucca Valley Planning Commission meets tonight at 6 p.m. at the Yucca Valley Community Center. You can see the full agenda and remote attendance instructions at this story at Z107.7fm.com. The Yucca Valley Spirit Awards were created to recognize community members who make a real difference to the town and its residents. The latest recipient of the award was honored at last week's town council meeting. Online news editor Robert Hayden takes it from here.
Emergency preparedness is essential and can also be one of those things that can disappear into the background of everyday life. Not if you spent any time around Marjorie Smith, who was recently recognized with the Spirit of Yucca Valley Award for her outstanding service to the town of Yucca Valley and the entire Morongo Basin. Here's Yucca Valley Mayor Merle Abel introducing Marjorie at the February 17th Town Council meeting.
Marjorie has been a key part of the Morongo Basin Community Organization active in disaster, helping with bringing local organizations together to help them understand who will provide supplies, manpower, and support when needed most. When a need is identified, Marjorie knows exactly who to call.
Marjorie joined the American Red Cross as a community engagement volunteer in 2022, and she's been instrumental in connecting communities with emergency services and growing the base of volunteers here in the basin. There hasn't been an emergency in the Morongo Basin that she hasn't helped out with in some fashion. From 2017's devastating floods in Joshua Tree to the Palm Springs bombing last year, she'll get calls from agencies and organizations looking to help connect our community to emergency services and law enforcement all over Southern California. Mayor Abel calls Marjorie's passion for preparedness contagious, and he's right. I first met Marjorie at a county emergency services resource fair in 2025 where she was handing out emergency lanterns, cell phone chargers, gloves, and other items that can be essential in an emergency. Here she is in that story from January 14th of last year.
I'm in charge of all the volunteers in time of disasters for the Morongo Basin.
Marjorie knows how to get volunteers. Betty came down to get some supplies for her 87-year-old neighbor.
And I said, well, I'm in Yucca, I'll go by there. And she saw me in line. She goes, do you have a few minutes? And pulled me right out of line.
There's always a need for a volunteer.
Those sentiments were echoed at Marjorie's impromptu speech at the town council meeting after being presented the award. She says that while you may think that you're prepared for an emergency, if you haven't made a plan and talked to your neighbors, then you haven't taken the first and most crucial step.
Emergency planning begins with you and your family around the kitchen table. I just want you to change your thinking. Don't say you're prepared because you're not. And I'm so honored by this award tonight. This is a complete surprise, and we do it because we love each other. Now, don't forget your neighbors. The people you need when something happens is not your friends across town. The people you need are the people who you're surrounded with. They are the people that will make a difference in your life. Get to know your neighbors and become self-reliant. And if we can help one person, just one person, be safe and not afraid during an event, we've done our job.
We've got photos and a longer version of this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, I'm Robert Hayden.
The Bighorn Desert View Water Agency meets in special session tonight. Their sole agenda item is a closed session during which the board is expected to appoint a general manager. The Bighorn Desert View Water Agency meets tonight at 6 p.m. at their office at 1720 North Cherokee Trail in Landers. You can find a link to the agenda at this story online at Z107.7fm.com. The 29 Palms Water District Board of Directors meets tomorrow. They will hold a public hearing on monthly water service charges. The 29 Palms Water District Board of Directors meets tomorrow at 4 p.m. at their office at 72401 Hatch Road in 29 Palms. You can attend the meeting online at 29palmswater.net. Lanes will be closed on Yucca Mesa Road and Buena Vista Drive intermittently through the end of March. The closures are related to a road improvement project undertaken by the town of Yucca Valley and will involve repaving asphalt and adding curbs, gutters, and striping. Lane closures are expected while crews work at the intersection weekdays from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. through March 31st. Expect flagging operations to direct traffic. The intersection will be totally closed to semi-trucks and oversized loads. For more information about this project, you can use a link at this story at Z107.7fm.com. High Desert Artists invites the public to a special evening with ceramic artist Mark Walsh, the founder of Juniper Clay, in a live interview hosted by artist and writer Ted Meyer. In this TED Talk-style conversation, Meyer will explore Walsh's artistic journey, creative process, and his acclaimed Cerilith series. The event takes place tonight at 6 p.m. at the High Desert Artists Gallery, located at 55635 29 Palms Highway in Yucca Valley. Admission is free. The Creative Cafe returns this week with a session focused on lettering and word art. The Creative Cafe is a weekly drop-in art session hosted by local artist Jillian Sandell. She asks you to think about a phrase or saying you'd like to turn into a postcard or piece of art. Wednesday's session runs from noon to 2 p.m. at the Food for Thought Cafe in the Joshua Tree Retreat Center. Reservations are not required, but donations are suggested. The Yucca Valley Chamber of Commerce wants you to grab your sweetheart or your squad and join them for Valentine's Day Bingo tomorrow. $20 buys you a meal and a bingo card, with extra cards costing $5. They say that fun, prizes, and sweet surprises are in store for players. Join the Chamber of Commerce tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. at the Yucca Valley Community Center. And finally, the 29 Palms High School boys varsity tennis team hosted the Knights of Shadow Hills yesterday. The Wildcats lost in a 9-9 tie, which ended in a 67-72 loss. In singles action, Dayon Matthews won 2 sets. In doubles action, the team of Michael Acosta and Chad Johnson swept all 3 of their sets. The team of Aiden Sanchez and Cullen McGroarty-Weir swept all 3 of their sets. The Wildcats host Silverado on Tuesday and travel to San Gorgonio on Thursday. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. If you hear about news happening, let us know. Email us at tips@z1077fm.com. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z1077 Local News, I'm News Director Jeff Harmatz.